It is impossible to escape sin. It is, when you think about it. Because escaping sin is one of the hardest things. Because sin is everywhere around you. Sin is not going to come and knock on your door and say, hey, can you let me in? Or can I get a cup of water? No. Sin is going to come to you and it's going to be very appealing. It's going to be very cunning. It's going to be very subtle. It's going to be very, attractive. It is going to come to you and it is going to make you feel comfortable. It is going to make you feel accepted. It is going to make you feel wanted. It is going to make you feel like you have arrived. It's going to make you feel like you are somebody. It's going to make you feel important. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you have fun, right? And those opportunities, right, that sin is going to bring to you, right, is not going to be opportunities of clean fun. It's not going to be opportunities of going bowling. It's not going to be opportunities of, going to the movies or, things that are fun, right? Things that are clean. It's not going to be opportunities of Bible study. It's not going to be opportunities of praying. It's not going to be opportunities of going to church revival or going to church, right? It's not going to be opportunities of that. Those opportunities that sin is going to bring to you, that's going to be brought to you by sin to your doorstep, is going to be opportunities that include partying, clubbing, drinking, smoking, right? Sex, good vibes, right? As they call it, right? Okay. So sin is going to bring those, bring those options, bring those opportunities to you, right? Because those are the areas of life that make somebody feel accepted, make somebody feel good, make somebody feel happy about themselves, right? Especially for those who are sensitive, those who got low self-esteem, it's going to stroke your ego. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel accepted. It's going to make you feel valued. It's going to make you feel important, And so with that being said, sin is going to do that. It's going to make you feel like you are somebody, whether it be you may be having sex one day, right? Yeah, sin is going to make that moment feel pleasurable. It's going to make that moment feel good. It's going to make that moment feel like it's everything. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make that moment feel so valuable and so precious, right? When really, at the end of the day, once it's over with, that void that you call yourself feeling because of that, right? That made you do that, right? That quote unquote void that caused you to sleep with that man or to sleep with that woman. Let me tell you something. That void is not filled. Sorry to tell you, but that void that you thought that you were feeling, that you thought that you were, filling in that space, guess what? You're still empty on the inside. Yeah, you're still, surprisingly, if you didn't know, you're still empty on the inside. Because listen, after you done had that sex, guess what? That ain't gonna feel that loneliness. Because after you done had that sex, you still gonna feel lonely. You gonna go in your room or you gonna get by yourself somewhere, wherever you gonna go, and you gonna feel like, damn, did I really do that? Did I really just have sex with that person and I still feel, yes, you damn well did. Yep, you sure did. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, sin is going to cause you to do things that seem fun. It's going to cause you to do things that sound appealing, that sound good, that make you feel good, stroke your ego, right? But at the end of the day, them voids of loneliness, unhappiness, being miserable is still going to be there. Sin cannot fix that. The only person that can fix that is God. The devil cannot fix that. Now, like I said, things that are temporary, right? Alcohol, all that. Yeah, it's going to be presented to you, and yeah, it's going to make it seem like those things are being fueled by those substances or by those drinks or by those fun times, but really, it's not. They're not being fueled because at the end of the day, you still going to feel the same. But you're going to feel worse, though. You get what I'm saying? You're going to feel worse. And when you do decide to say, okay, I'm no longer going to allow sin to have a chain around my neck, when you decide that, sin is going to make it hard for you to walk away, you know? Because you know why? Sin is going to make it hard for you to walk away because sin is like, yo, I got my claws in you. You ain't going nowhere, you know? So sin is going to try harder to keep you, right? Meaning that the people that was in your life that may have never been to a party, that may have never drunk before, that may have never had sex before, that may have never smoked before, right? That may have never been in the streets before, that may have never went to jail before. Let me tell you something. Sin is going to get in their lives and present themselves to those people. Sin is going to present itself to those people, right? And sin is going to use those people that ain't never been in those type of things before to come to you, right? Because sin knows that you are trying to change your life and that you are trying to get up out of sin so that you no longer, are a prisoner, right? So with that being said, sin is going to have them people come to you, right? Then people going to tell you, like I said, this is somebody who never partied, never drunk, never smoked, never was, somebody who decided, let's go rob a house, right? This person was never that type of person. Never that type of person that ain't, had sex, right? Never that type of person. But because sin knows that you are trying to change your life and trying to completely eliminate it from your life as far as being a prisoner or a slave to it, sin is going to use that person to come to you to say, hey, look, let's go rob a house. Let's go sell some drugs. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go have sex with this girl, or let's go have sex with this man, right? Sin is going to go do that. Sin is going to go say, hey, look, let's go get drunk tonight. Let's go party tonight, right? That's what sin is going to do. Sin is going to go do that, right? Sin is going to come to you by the very person who you least expect. Sin is going to come to you by that very person who you may think that will never do that. But let me tell you something, the moment that you decide to walk away is the moment that, sin is going to come through that person, right? And reason, I'm going to tell you why. It comes through that person and came through that person, rather, because of the fact that, listen, this is someone who never done this before, right? So with this person never having any knowledge of what it's like to be, on these type of levels, right, of fun, then sin is going to use that person because they think that, okay, I can get this individual who is trying to escape me and who is trying to eliminate me back in my trap by sending the person that they least expect, by sending the person that they don't even think that to do things like that, right? Okay? That's why sin will use that person, is because they think that you will go and get involved in the option or the opportunities that this person presented to you because of the fact that this person has never done these things before. And so sin thinks that you're gonna do it. You're gonna go along with this individual, right? And you have to be strong enough. You have to have enough willpower, right? And be strong spiritually enough to say no, right? And even if you can't say no, man, you just better. I would not advise you. I'm not going to tell you to use violence. I'm not going to tell you to be harsh and rude, but I will tell you this. Pray about it. Even if you don't know how to pray about it, right? And if you see that even through prayer, if you see that the person still keep coming, I'ma just be honest with you and I'ma just tell you straight up. Tell that person no. And if no don't work, You just better repent before doing it, and you just better curse that person out. If that's the only way they'll get it, that's the only way they'll get it. Because at the end of the day, you have to be strong enough to see your value that you have for your own life. You get what I'm saying? You have to be able to be strong enough to see how important your life is, right? You have to be strong enough to see how important your priorities are in your life, because nobody else is going to see that but you. Nobody else is going to value you like you value yourself, except for God. God is going to really value you. You know, and so what I'm saying is, sin is going to do that, you know, and when you do get away from sin, and when sin no longer has you as a slave or as a prisoner, then guess what? Those people who you ran with, those people who you had fun with, who you got all the memories with, they're going to scatter like flies. Let me say it again. They are going to scatter like flies. They are going to leave. They are not going to be there. They are going to go. They're going to remind you, though, of how y'all had good times together. And of how, hey, you know, you should come out with us one night. They going to suggest to you, right? Knowing that you changed your life. Knowing that you no longer like that. But you have to be strong enough to say no. You got to be strong enough to know, okay, what not to do, what to do, where to go, and where not to go. You know? Especially if you are truly committed to being a better version of yourself and not going back in that same trap, right? So that's that. But yeah, man. So basically, sin is impossible to escape. There is no way to escaping sin. It is impossible to escape sin. And that's really it. You know, the best way I can tell you to not be a product of sin is to just stay boring. You know, I mean, if people consider you a square, if they consider you boring, stay that way. You know, don't be like the crowd. Don't be like people. Don't be a follower, be a leader, right? Don't go and drink just because the group of your people drinking. Don't go do that. Don't go partying just because a group of them partying. You know, they ask you, say no, right? They ask you, say you got things to do, you know, right? Or, you know, if they keep pushing, just, like I said, you know, repent before you do it, but, you know, just curse them out if you know that that's the only way they can get off your back. And like I said, I'm not advising that. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not pushing you to do that, but I'm just saying. But, yeah, so there's no way to escape sin. And it's, you know, it's a hard thing because, you know, sin is everywhere. Sin is in the church. Sin is in schools. Sin is everywhere. You know, sin is in the most unspeakable places. You know, where you don't think sin is at, it's there. You know, sin is every single where you look, literally. And I'm not talking about just, you know, places where you may think it's not. No, I'm talking about every single where. I'm talking about you can go outside and you'll see some sin, right? You can go in the forest and you'll see some sin. You're gonna see some sin, definitely. You know, but yeah, man, it's just, you know, it's impossible to escape sin. Sin is all around us. You know, it's everywhere. You know, I mean, it's everywhere, dude, for real. And that's really it. You know, it's impossible to escape sin. You know, but like I said, you know, if you're somebody who is considered boring or who is considered a square, stay that way. It's okay to be like that, because at the end of the day, you are better off being the person that is working hard, striving for success, staying on the right path, keeping yourself, staying a virgin, than being somebody who out here doing their thing, knowing if they pregnant or not. You know what I'm saying? Knowing, you know, they don't know if they got a disease or not. They don't know if they pregnant or not, right? You know, like, you better off, man, being somebody who ain't like that. Being somebody who is, you know, a virgin. Being somebody who is, you know, boring. being somebody who is someone who, you know, is on the right path and, you know, not like everybody else, you know. So stay that way, you know. And again, like I said, you know, it's impossible to escape sin, because it is.